A daring long-distance swim by two lion brothers, caught on camera for the first time. On February 1st, two lions crossed the predator-infested Kazinga Channel in Uganda, the longest swim documented.
Maybe 1.4 kilometers, which is sort of definitely one of the biggest on record, if not the longest done by big cats.
Dr. Alexander Brechkovsky led a team that filmed the lion duo crossing the channel, using drone-mounted heat detection cameras. 10-year-old Jacob has an amputated leg and is famous for surviving multiple life-threatening incidents.
I think this guy is probably the most resilient lion that's ever lived on the African continent.
Jacob is a male lion born around 2014 in the Queen Elisabeth Park of Uganda. These lions are part of a special kind who are excellent climbers and enjoy this elevated spot a lot like leopard. Along with his particular family, the little Jacob grown up happily and with time became a beautiful young male lion. Everything was going well for Jacob and his family at this point, and it was expected that he will become a great king in a near future. But unfortunately, things were not going to be that easy for this lion and his family. The security level for animals against poachers was not that great in the Queen Elizabeth Park. As a result of this, the human-wildlife conflict and poaching were a very serious threat for all living animals, especially lions, who were killed and sold for whatever reasons by this heartless humans. So to at least trying to protect the lions from such deadly threat, the conservation program put collar on them to track and study their movement, and in 2018, the 4-year-old Jacob and his family were collared to keep them safe from humans in the Kambura Wildlife Reserve and the northern sector of the Queen Elizabeth Park. Everything went surprisingly well for Jacob and his pride despite the constant threat of human, but in 2020, bad luck struck the 6-year-old lion for the first time. On August 2020, the trees-climbing king was caught in a poacher wheel trap. Such ones are used by these criminals to trap buffaloes and hippos, and unfortunately the poor lion was found badly injured and exhausted by rangers, who immediately rushed in to save him. The Dr. Seifert Ludwig, who's also the founder of the Uganda Carnivore Program, darted Jacob and quickly started healing the lion's wound, and luckily the beast survived to this first experience and managed to recover before joining up with his mother and 4 siblings, 2 males and females. Jacob was lucky this time, but sadly for him, and after surviving to this first experience who caused the death of many lions before him, life wasn't going to be easy for him. When things were going well, a year later in 2021, the unlucky Uganda lion Jacob had another encounter with death when he got stuck for the second time in another poacher's trap. This time around, Jacob was able to break free from the deadly trap, but however at one hard cost. While trying to escape from a certain death, Jacob lost a part of one of his back leg in the process, and was now a 3-leg walking lion. With now only 3 legs, Jacob's life was about to become a lot more harder that she already was in. To make things worse, 6 months after losing his leg, his family was suddenly poisoned by locals. And bad luck struck the poor beast again when he got gored by a buffalo 3 months later, and basically got his entrails hanging out of his stomach, according to Alexander Brichkovsky. Even if Jacob was treated for its wound at this point, it was expected that Jacob won't last long anymore. After losing his leg, getting his family poisoned, and being badly gored by a buffalo, there was practically no chance for him to survive. But Jacob was not going to just give up and die as people expected, and decide to fight back despite all the drama he had handled during the last 2 years. And despite his disability, he managed to travel 75 kilometers in the park along with his 2 brothers to establish a territory on their own. In 2022, the resilient king and his brothers managed to become dominant against all odds, and turned themselves into fathers. That sadly, one of the 2 brothers of Jacob vanished, leaving the 3-leg lion with only one brother named Tebu. The 2 boys did everything in their power to hold on to their territory, but with the pressure from other coalition and the fact that only Tebu was really fit enough to fight, they unfortunately lost their lands, and sadly the number of adult male lions now outnumbered females in the park, result of poaching and poisoning. During the next month and years, the 2 aging lions lived by the sword, doing their best to avoid all rival lions who wanted them dead, and also their more dangerous humans neighbors who still can end their journey in a blink of an eye. But amazingly, both managed to hold on and keep fighting. Even Jacob, who didn't let his missing leg affect his very brave and tough spirit. He was a warrior and a survivor who served to too many things to give up now, like our phone living man wanna mail. Jacob and Tebu survived like that until 2024, when the pressure from rival males became too intense, with still the threat of human, and so both decide to move away from there for good, and by the way, becoming legend in doing so. After a last territorial clash and several attempts to leave the area, the 3-leg lion Jacob and his brother Tebu just established the new world record of the longest swin down by big cats at night. After 45 minutes of pure bravery, both lions crossed the river infested with big hippos and crocs, without enduring any attacks, making them now forever legends of the Queen Elisabeth Park and Uganda itself, especially Jacob. Jacob's story is a tale of a mighty warrior who didn't give up and continue to battle despite all the drama that life threw at him, and this king now imposed respect for all he had endured during his 10 years old eventful life. We all hope the best for you, Jacob and Debu, and also for the entire Queen Elizabeth Park animals who have to deal with the cruelty of humans. Let's wish that everything will improve soon for the well-being of this majestic creatures who are born fighters since their birth. Long live to Jacob, the toughest Uganda lion and among the most resilient on earth.